Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news, wrapping up the week ending the 27th of August. I've got some videos going over the particular of the GamesCom presentation and demos and lots of gameplay and lots of stuff, so check that out in the links below. But there was also an additional Chris Roberts fan interview that I want to go over, as well as the schedule report updates and some of the FOIP or face over IP stuff, just very briefly. The schedule report, so as of Friday the 25th of August, there are 67 must-fix bugs before Alpha 3.0 can go to the Evocati testers, and then onto the wider PTU, and then eventually onto a live build. Some of the highlights of what they fixed and have been working on over the last week: the cockpit experience. Sprint has focused on improving the overall player experience in the cockpit by refining cockpit geometry, character placement, G-force, hit reactions, VFX, audio, UI, as well as support code for camera shake and hooking into the ship's health systems to display proper damage. They've also been fixing an issue that where a pilot exiting a seat after quantum travel could cause the player to teleport back to the starting point. They fixed issues where players would exit quantum travel but not be facing towards their destination. Issues with shopkeeper animations not matching up with their props, surroundings, and shop counters being missing. There was issues that they fixed where some players would spawn in and be invisible. Issues with landing gear were fixed, and with AI still moving after they were dead, so ships would be flying around still, moving oddly. There was also a huge range of other crashes they fixed, as well as lower priority bugs. But when do we think that 3.0 is going to be released? Heavy assumption warning. The graphs from the schedule report that have been updated seem to suggest that they had a current target date for the 9th of October. I'm assuming that's for a live build. I'm not really sure. That date, however, is irrelevant. At GamesCom, during a PC Gamer interview, Chris Roberts, try as he might to not give any form of dates, he estimated that a date of between the 4th and 8th of September might be about right. For what I assume was an Evocati build, but that was an extremely maybe answer. It's going to be ready when it's ready. I'll continue to update you every week on the progress made during the final stages of this bug fix and road to 3.0's release. Remember, a lot more past 3.0 is being worked on at the same time in the main development branch of the game. Squadron 42, 3.0, beyond 3.1, with capital ship battles, procedural cities, mining mechanics, to name but a few things. But once 3.0 goes to the Evocati testers, they will hammer out some of the other more stress-testy bugs, other bugs that the QA and actual CIG employees may have missed, and then we'll know more realistically when we're going to have a PTU and then live date for the game. So any other dates are kind of irrelevant at the moment. The sneak peek from the newsletter this week was a Cutlass crash site. The revamped Cutlass won't be just cutting across the atmosphere and speeding through space. As this week's sneak peek shows, the derelict versions of the ship are also being worked on to populate planet sides. The derelicts are now like the last stage in a ship's process before it becomes flyable. They literally, that's an extra part of the pipeline they added when they realised they wanted derelicts on planets and moons and in space. So there was also a Chris Roberts fan interview done by a Russian YouTuber, which I'll link his channel below, and I'll go over just the highlights of that interview. You'll be able to decompress ships. If you blow open a door, all the atmosphere will go from the inside to the outside. People will run out of oxygen if they don't have their helmet on, and they better get on one kind of quickly if they are caught short, because you'll start suffocating. Depending on the scale of the ship, you'd probably be able to vent the ship's oxygen or atmosphere from the pilot's seat. That's not going to be in 3.0, though in 3.0 you will be able to blow up doors and the atmosphere and oxygen will leave the ship, so you can suffocate people, and you may need to run around and get your helmet. They will be modelling stealth FPS mechanics in terms of if you're quiet and keep your signature low, you can kind of move around undetected. So certain suits, light armour, will be better than medium or heavy armour, which would have a bigger EM or IR signature based on if they've got like torches on and if they've got lots of motors and stuff driving them. All your gadgets and the item 2.0 system will allow for certain weapons and stuff to be more stealthy than others. Everything will add to your signature, basically. And the quieter you are, the better equipment you have for stealth, the better. If you're just running around pretty much naked with a knife, you're going to be pretty quiet. The Reclaimer is going to have in-depth salvage mechanics, and salvage in general is going to have in-depth mechanics. You're going to be able to detach and cut away working items and weapons from ships that you've blown up, so systems as well. If you've blown off a wing, you'll be able to detach a working cannon, if it's still working, that is, and then you can salvage the rest of the debris, which you turn into iron ore or something, or its equivalent, and then go and sell that as well. Although the combat docking collars and the ones from the Cutlass are no longer a thing, the Idris still has a docking airlock and collar for parking its space stations and for more static areas. It's not going to be attaching itself to anything that's moving, but it's too big to park on an actual pad. So, like an airplane at an airport, you have an air bridge that'll kind of be a version of that will be able to dock onto stations. They will do a soundtrack for Squadron 42 on release of Squadron 42, though there may be other releases of music along the way, as there's quite a lot of tracks that they've got for Star Citizen and Squadron 42. They are working on a Star Marine level that involves planetary combat, and they are always working on FPS features. They want the FPS, or first-person shooter, side of the game to be on the slower, tactical, realistic side with their stamina, stealth, EVA, and suit puncher mechanics, and much more there, but it's going to be a slower game. It's not a super fast arcade experience. It's a much more, you have to make decisions, you need to be strategic, you need to be tactical, you need to work as part of a team, or very much plan what you're going to do, and it will be as unforgiving, effectively, as Armour is. The death mechanic, the death of a spaceman, and light permadeath mechanics are still planned for Star Citizen. Your character can die in-game, but you can create another one when they die to inherit their stuff. It's more of a bother than a game-ending thing at all. They want you to worry about the mortality of your character, and not zerg constantly, but you're not going to just insta-die. You will have a certain amount of lives, and you might be able to refresh them, so don't worry too much about that. The Idris combat in the GamesCom 2017 demo that we just saw had 6 players on each ship flying those Idrises. For Squadron 42, they estimate that there's going to be 18 to 19 NPCs manning the Idris, and you're going to be able to hire, in Star Citizen, the MMO, NPC crews to fill in the gaps. They suspect that with capital ships, whether they be the smallest end of the scale or the larger end of the scale, you're going to have a mix of human and NPC crews. The intention being that humans are the best possible choice for ships, and that NPCs won't be able to be as competitive. FOIP, or Face Over IP. It's not feature creep. So let me explain. At Gamescom, Star Citizen unveiled their VoIP, their voice over IP, which was spatialized and pretty cool. We need voice over IP in game. But also, they showed off their FOIP, their face over IP, integrated into the game. It's cool and a diegetic approach to in-game chat, and was actually a planned feature as early, at least as early as 2013.
We're going to be using live drivers. So when you're walking around in space, we're going to have your webcam drive your avatar's face. So we wanted to kind of show you a little, it's very early days on this, but we want to show you a little bit about the technology. Here you can see kind of moves with your eyes move, your face moves, your lips, it just matches. Now we have a lot of work to do to get that back to where it's perfect with our avatar. We have to, we have to rig up our avatar, and by rig I mean you weight the joints and bones in there. Anyway, we get that to where it works perfectly with our characters.
For the game now being actually realized. This is going to allow you to drive your face movement in-game with just a standard webcam. I'll do a separate video going over how it all works. Is it worth it? Is it feature creep? Is it essential? Because it's not essential, but it is pretty cool. But we'll talk about that in a bit more detail and exactly what we can get out of FOIP and VoIP in-game. I will also get some gameplay cuts of the Show Floor 3.0 Gamescom streams during the week, just the gameplay from them, as well as we've already got a presentation and the 600 series and stuff like that, already up videos for that, but I'll get more up on them. Lots of stuff to go over with Gamescom still, lots of cool gameplay footage and videos to be made, so check that out during the week. Every month we try to give away a ship. For August, it's a Nox Q. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my Star Citizen videos during that month. Do you have any questions about Alpha 3.0, about the schedule, about Gamescom's presentation, about the development of Star Citizen in general, whatever? A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you're interested in becoming one of them, then you can find a link to Patreon below. Thank you so much. You guys have been absolutely amazing. I am trying to get a new processor so that can do all the encoding significantly faster. So yeah, I love you guys. You're the best. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the verse.